People say we have a weight loss problem. The truth is, we don't. People are very, very good at losing weight. The problem we have is that after 3 years, only 5% of people who have lost a significant amount of weight are able to keep it off. In this series, we look at the 6 different ways that Layne Norton tells us in Fat Loss Forever of how we can keep weight off. Keep watching to see how you can become one of the 5% who are able to lose weight and keep it off.
Stronger, smarter, faster, healthier, better. Free.
Hi everyone, if it's your first time here, I'm Sam, the Stoic teacher. I'm a philosophy and theology graduate from the University of Cambridge, and I now have the pleasure of teaching philosophy and religious studies in South London. And on this channel, we look at ancient wisdom for modern times. Now, those of you who have been following the channel for a long time will know that since 2017, I've lost over 140 pounds of weight. Now, about a month ago, I reached the milestone where it's been 3 years since I lost a significant amount of weight, and that's why I've started this series, because Layne Norton in Fat Loss Forever tells us that only 5% of people who lose a significant amount of weight are able to keep it off. He identifies 6 key traits in people who are able to actually keep weight off. Today, we're going to be looking at the second key trait of people who are able to lose weight and keep it off, and that is self-monitoring. So let's get started. So first of all, what is self-monitoring? So self-monitoring can take the form of a number of different ways of measuring or monitoring our progress. This could be weighing ourselves, could be measuring ourselves, could be progress pictures, could be how certain clothes fit us. So there's a number of different ways you can do it. But the reason this is one of the key elements is that actually I have experience of losing weight and putting lots of it back on. Back when I was about 20, when I started putting weight back on, where I reached, 23 stone, I stopped weighing myself, and essentially it was almost a case of me ignoring the scale. And that's what allowed me to reach that goal. And I think one of the things that the research that Layne Norton highlights in Fat Loss Forever talks about is that self-monitoring correlates with success in keeping weight off. Because of course what we don't want is to obsessively monitor every second of every single day, but keeping a kind of benchmark. I mean, Jordan Syatt, who we love on this channel, Jordan Syatt often talks about finances. People ask him on his story all the time, do I have to track? Do I have to measure my progress? And he says, do you have to track? Do you have to measure your finances? Not necessarily. You can just leave your bank and not necessarily look at it. Would you have a better picture, a better ballpark figure if you kept an eye on it and kind of monitored it from time to time? Yeah, the same principle applies. And so that's essentially what self-monitoring is. So in my weight loss journey, where I lost over 140 pounds since 2017, the key driving factor in this was the philosophy of Stoicism. So the key question in terms of self-monitoring is, how did Stoicism help me to self-monitor? The Stoics have 4 key virtues, and one of those virtues is moderation. The idea of moderation is that with any key virtue, a virtue meaning kind of a positive trait. So let's say, for example, let's take courage. Courage is the right amount of a particular virtue. That is what we're aiming for. But every virtue has an excess and a deficiency. The excess of courage is rashness, and the deficiency of courage is cowardice. Let me give you an example. It would be courageous if I saw someone in the road who was about to get hit by a car, and I called out and kind of waited to see if it was safe to, and kind of stepped in and helped the person. It would be rash if the moment I saw someone in the middle of the road, I just ran in the middle of the road myself and just got run over, and both of us were run over. That would be rash. And it would be cowardly to do nothing whatsoever and just walk by. So with each action, a Stoic is aiming to achieve it with moderation and to kind of practice the virtue with moderation. Now, how did moderation help me with self-monitoring? Well, the truth is that when I used to weigh myself or measure myself, there was a problem where I'd become obsessive. So let's say I weigh today and then I weigh tomorrow and it's 0.1 pound up. Emotionally, that could be quite difficult for me, having come from a place of quite bad body self-image because of bullying when younger around weight. And so Stoicism allowed me to practice moderation with it, whereby I wouldn't do it every single morning. I would do it maybe every other day and try and remind myself this isn't something to obsess about. Weight will fluctuate up and down. And again, Jordan Syatt does some wonderful work on this. It can fluctuate based on kind of how much salt there is or retaining water. This doesn't mean that there is fat gain. And this brings me to the final point. It's very important to realize that self-monitoring does not always have to be weighing. Body fat, for many people, the goal is not necessarily just pure weight loss, but body recomposition, i.e. they want to gain more muscle and lose body fat. And it is the case that muscle weighs more than fat. And therefore, if we want to be more accurate with measuring body fat, we need to look at some of the ways of specifically measuring body fat independent of body weight, because it's not necessarily the most accurate indicator. There are a number of ways of doing this. I mentioned some at the beginning, such as progress pictures. There are other ways, such as skin calipers. There are DEXA scans. There are machines that aren't necessarily accurate. You know, the machine at the gym won't necessarily give you an accurate reading of the exact body fat percentage. It will give is a relative measure over time. So for example, if the machine gives you 30% on a given day, and then it gives you 25% on another day, according to that machine, you're seeing progress in the right direction. So there's other ways to self-monitor purely than just weight, and body fat is a good one. Finally, you know, I'm going to be making a number of videos about my experiences of my weight loss. If you're interested in more videos regarding my weight loss journey, please do click above on a Stoic weight loss journey. Do check the link in the bio for my Skillshare class with Ali Abdal, where we have a bumper 30-minute mukbang where me and him eat at Five Guys and we talk about my weight loss journey. And so do click below and have a look on that. You can get free access by clicking the link below. In any case, I'll see you next time for more ancient wisdom from modern times. Bye now.